Hey, I'm Father Mark Mary.
And I'm Brother Sean Conrad.
We are the Franciscan Friars of the Renewal, and this is Ascension Presents. Brother Sean is back, and he's going to share with us a little word about seeing the face of God.
Father Mark Mary, there's 3 times in my life that I can remember where I've really think I've seen the face of God in people. 2 were times where it really wasn't surprising. One was St. Mother Teresa. Another time was a well-known visionary, which I felt I saw God in a special way. But the 3rd time was really a surprise to me, a place I never expected to see it. We work a lot with the poor in our friaries. I was visiting this one woman one day, delivering some groceries to her, and she happened to say, she asked me, my neighbor downstairs, would you like to go visit her? I think she'd like to see you. So I said, okay. I went down to the apartment downstairs. It was one of those railroad apartments where you had to walk through one room to get to the next room, to get to the next room. So in the back, in the 3rd room, the last room of this railroad apartment, I went in, and there was a crib. And in that crib, there was this little girl who had deformed arms, deformed legs. She was probably about 12 years old, but the rest of her body was like 3 years old. But her face was beautiful. As soon as I walked in, she was just in this crib, nothing in this crib. She looked at me, and this big smile on her face. You could tell the joy that was there, that another person had come to see her. And her face was what really struck me. This joy in her face, the smile on her face. She looked right at me. I saw into her eyes. She looked at me. It was that one of those moments where you see another person, and they're the only other person in the world. That's the way it seemed to me and to her. That's the way I experienced it anyway, that joy that she had. And that just filled me with such a profound joy in myself. This mysterious encounter where you saw a little girl who's like known to nobody, probably, way back in this back room in this apartment in the Bronx, that's where God was, in this moment, in this little girl. And anytime you experience God, there's no way, I don't care who you are, the most hardened heart in the world can't melt in the face of God in some way, shape, or form, I think. And that's what it did for me right there. This girl melted my heart. And it was the face of Jesus, because it was the face of joy, it was the face of beauty, it was the face of everything you can think of with God. That's what I saw in that little girl that day in that crib, in the most hidden way. And what Mother Teresa talks about, seeing Jesus in the distressing disguise of the poor, this powerless little girl, the weakness of God, stronger than the strength of men. And there it was embodied in this little girl. What it did for me, what I took away from that, was very profound. Many, many years ago, it still sticks with me.
And that's what the Lord said in His own words. You know, I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty, you gave me drink. I was a prisoner and you visited me.
Yeah.
And it's like this little girl was this little prisoner
exactly
in this
right.
crib.
Yeah.
And Brother Sean, I was a prisoner in this little crib and you visited me.
Yeah.
And you saw God. And I think that's one of the great treasures of, if you will, working with the poor, being Franciscans,
yes.
is this opportunity to really and truly, mysteriously, but really and truly encounter God in the distress and disguise of the poor. And my brothers and sisters and Christians, the Lord's inviting each of us to do that. We're searching after so many things in so many different ways. But at the end of the day, all of our hearts are searching for God, and God's like, I'm here, and I'm inviting you in the distress and disguise of the poor to encounter me, to see me, and to see my face. My brothers and sisters, let's pray about it. The Lord is inviting you to encounter Him in the distress and disguise of the poor. Let's say yes to that invitation. Let's pray about it. We thank you again for watching, for praying with us, for walking with us. Remember, we are pilgrims. Somos peregrinos, poco a poco, little by little. On this pilgrimage of faith, we're going to make it. Vamos a llegar. Thank you so much. We'll see you again. God bless y'all.